Oh, hi. Welcome, you guys, to the free weekly reading with me, Sarah Martucci, your local resident witchy weirdo, psychic medium, certified crystal healer, paranormal investigator, Sasquatch enthusiast, by proxy, Slim Jim enthusiast. Welcome, guys. So if you've never been here before, this is chaos and fuckery. Welcome. This is also where I pull through piles of cards. You choose any and all that you're drawn towards. I then interpret those cards afterwards, but first I like to start with a little something I lovingly refer to as astrofuckery. So you guys, let's get to it this week. I'm going to make it short and simple. There's a lot of turbulent, I guess maybe is the best word for it, astro out there this week, but I kind of want to focus on this new moon and the North Node conjoining Uranus at the end of the week. So, guys, with this new moon, I really kind of think like short and sweet, it's your time to shine. New moons are about like new beginnings, planting new seeds. What are we doing with this information? What are we doing with our feelings? What are we doing, with everything that we've gathered since that last full moon? So at this point, like we've had time to kind of decide what's working, what's not working, what can we take now and like start something new with it? Or how can we take things that have been rolling and chugging along, or even looking into our chart and seeing like where Leo, reigns in our chart will give us a better idea, like what house it's in, the themes and things that are coming up for us at that point. So taking these themes, taking, whatever's going on for us and like starting fresh, starting new here. So Leo traditionally rules the fifth house, which usually talks about like creativity, fun, gambling, sports, being on stage, presenting. This can even talk about romance. So the fifth house is an interesting place. And also too, like Leo's ruled by their hearts. They're ruled by the sun as well. Like Leo traditionally rules the heart. So this is, I feel like, this new moon is about like really tapping in and knowing what our heart is. Where are we supposed to be shining? And how can we start something brand new in that space? So for me, it's going to be in my first house because I'm a Leo rising. So this is really going to be about my image and like what I'm putting out into the world. This would be the perfect time for me to revamp my work, my image around the work that I do, maybe even to the way that I see myself and maybe even view myself. All of it's up for review. That's for fucking sure. So with that being said, just look to your chart, see where Leo rules so you can get an idea around like the themes and things that are happening for you. And don't be afraid to plant new seeds around that. Look, going bigger and better is going to help you here. And I think maybe even too paying attention to the ways that maybe you've been holding yourself back, maybe where you've been afraid to be seen and be heard. So we don't need to do that anymore. Just know that like it's safe for you to be yourself. It's safe for you to speak, on your heart or do something that you feel is like really important to you, especially if it's a creative pursuit, has to do with love and romance, has to do with your children, has to do with having fun, getting out there, and like really gambling on life too. Take a gamble on yourself or take a gamble on this thing that you're going after. So don't be afraid to be loud and proud about whatever makes you happy and full of joy. That thing, I'm going to take a wild stab here. I'm going to say that thing is maybe what you're meant and called to be here to do in this world. Or if it's about a relationship, maybe this is something that's really important to your heart that you need to like come closer to and really maybe just shine bright and let yourself be seen and heard about the way that you feel. If this has to do with like a creative pursuit, again, like put your stuff out in the world. Don't be afraid for it to be seen because it's supposed to. It's supposed to, especially if this is something that you feel you have to present to others. This is something that you feel has to be like sacred and quiet, then keep it sacred and quiet. But this new moon is really for busting out and letting people see you. Know that you're around, hearing what you have to say, presenting yourself to the world, shining brightly and being unfucking apologetic about it. Let me tell you that. So just know with this new moon in Leo, really kind of sit down and decide for yourself what it is that you'd like to start over fresh with again, around those themes. And again, looking also to your chart and seeing where it's sitting so that you have a deeper understanding around where we're getting this new beginning. Take this because I feel like it's really going to be an auspicious new moon. New beginnings and intentions, manifesting what it is that you actually want is going to be so 2022. So don't be afraid to say what you want. Ask for what you want. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's fucking true. Moving on to Uranus conjoining the North Node. This is going to be happening on the 31st. So I just want to say with that feeling, and especially with Uranus involved, just expect the unexpected. Connected with the North Node, like this is going to be taking us, I feel like, in maybe directions. The North Node is going to talk about like where we should be heading in life. So with Uranus here, it's like, it's the agent of change, it's liberation. It reminds me of the Tower, where it's like everything might be falling apart, or it feels like chaos in front of you, but it's actually for your liberation. And that North Node connected, working alongside of it, conjoined with it. Really, this North Node is like shaking things up. Maybe we're moving in a new direction we never thought, expecting the unexpected, things showing up for us at our doorstep. I also want to say too, going with the flow is going to be a big fucking deal on the 31st. So whatever shows up before or on that date, or maybe a little bit after, just pay attention. And the more that you can be fluid with it, I think the better it's going to be. The more that you're rigid and like, oh, I can't, or I shouldn't, or I won't, especially after that new moon in Leo. Man, I just really feel like you're missing the point if you like shut yourself down. So what is this North Node and Uranus kind of showing you where your future is asking you to head towards? Again, it may be something that you never thought was possible, or maybe you never even considered it as like an option for yourself. Maybe, par example, somebody shows the fuck up out of the blue and they're fucking weird, but they're amazing and they've got like this tidbit of information that helps you get it from point A to point B. Maybe you've been working at a job for 30 years and it feels like you're going to retire there, but you get fired on that day, but actually it leads you to be able to start your own business, something you've always wanted to do for the rest of your life, but you weren't going to leave unless like this crazy situation occurred, which set you fucking free. So I just want to say to you guys, whatever happens around the end of the week, definitely from the new moon to the end of the week, just go with the fucking flow again. Don't be afraid to be seen and be heard. Don't be afraid to shine bright and to know what it is that you actually want to. If you ask a Leo what they want, they'll fucking tell you. And again, they're always following their heart. So that's going to be the advice for this week. Follow your fucking heart, shine bright, and know that whatever massive changes are coming for you, they're actually really good and they might actually be setting you free. Lean into it. All right. If you guys are done with astrofuckery, I sure the fuck am. All right, let's move on to the cards. I'm going to present the 3 piles in front of you. Choose any and all that you're drawn towards. After that, I'm going to flip these suckers over, flip some fucking tables, and talk about what I think these cards mean. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. All right, if you guys pick card pile number 1, here's your beautiful cards. Your first one is the 4 of Cups. Second card is the Queen of Swords. And the final card is a Major Arcana card, talking about major change, major evolution, major movement forward. You got the High Priestess. Hootie fucking who? Let's talk about it. So I want to say this week, honestly, long story short, it just kind of feels like we're not seeing a situation clearly, or we're missing an opportunity and we are not seeing it clearly. So with the 4 of Cups showing up, this traditionally talks about missed opportunities. This can even talk about just like apathy or boredom within a situation, and that's kind of like fucking us up. Maybe we're not getting like, with cups here, like emotionally stimulated, or mentally stimulated, but usually it's emotionally with cups. Something's not happening here that's really kind of has us feeling like engaged with life. Maybe there's a current situation where we just feel kind of disengaged from it. Maybe it just didn't pan out the way that we wanted, or maybe things aren't going the way that we hoped for, or just kind of feels like we're at a dead end. But like this feeling is overshadowing what might actually be going on. The reason I'm saying that is because with the Queen of Swords showing up, she's asking you, look fucking clearly, take the goddamn blindfold off. And so in what ways are you kind of, and look, literally, if you can see the guy in this picture, he's got a blindfold on over his eyes. So she's really saying to you, like, look, she's got the blindfold in her hand. She's like, listen here, ho. Take the blindfold off. You're missing an opportunity that's really fucking important, and you're being fucking dumb about it. Listen, the Queen of Swords doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. Consider her like Judge Judy. Okay, she's just here to tell you the fucking truth. That's it. And she does not care. What you need to know is information about what's going on in the situation. So I really kind of feel like this is also like a perspective kind of feel. This makes me feel like step back for a second and really look at this for a minute. Are you really seeing this clearly? Or are you just bored? Or are you just feeling like apathetic towards it? Or are like your emotions clouding the way that you're looking at this thing so you can't see it clearly? Take a step back. Or at the very least, talk with maybe an important female this week with Queen showing up. Maybe this is a mother figure. Maybe this is somebody that you look up towards. Maybe this is a good therapist, whoever the fuck this is. Talk with this person that will logically talk to you and say, hey, snap out of it, dum-dum. The fuck are you doing? Somebody that's not going to like coddle you, that's really going to tell you the truth. Speak with them this week, because I think it's going to help you with the High Priestess here to really tune in and like learn to trust yourself again. Because I also think the situation has taken away like your trust in yourself, or maybe it's made you feel like you can't trust your intuition. So whatever the fuck's going on here, we need a perspective flip. We need help from an outside source, a strong, logical female that's just going to tell us like the fuck it is. Or maybe even presenting that information or that kind of energy for yourself so that you can snap the fuck out of this, really look at this and see what, you know, what it's worth. And I think the High Priestess is really telling you, like, learn to trust your gut again, because maybe there's even a message here that you were right, but we're not seeing it. So take that step back, ask for that help, tune the fuck in, and really truly listen to yourself. Because I think when you take a second and you look at it clearly and you really hear your intuition, you're going to hear the answer, okay? And it's always going to come back to, you should have trusted yourself. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Final thing I want to say with the High Priestess is this also even talks about like secret knowledge. So maybe even too, there's something here that like we've been missing. Maybe something secret kind of comes up to the forefront. Maybe we really look at this situation, take the blindfold off, and we see it for what it really is, positive or negative. But something secret is coming up. But honestly, guys, from this combination, to me, this feels like it's more good than it is bad. And guys, whatever information does come up this week, whatever secret stuff kind of filters through or shows up, or maybe something, a secret that we've been holding ourselves back from, like really looking at. Trust yourself that you can handle this, that whatever the fuck shows up, you've got this, you know. And on top of that, like, maybe we should have listened to ourselves to begin with. Fair? All right, let me know. All right, and if you pick card pile number 2, here's your beautiful cards. Your first one is the King of Swords. Second one is the 8 of Swords. And the final card is the Queen of Cups. Let's fucking talk about it. So I feel as though like this card combination could stand for like 2 things kind of. For me, first and foremost, I want to tackle the situation that if you pick card pile number 2, maybe we're in a weird fucking relationship. Because traditionally the King of Swords is logical, practical, you know, he wants like facts and figures, charts. You know, it needs to make sense. This guy does work with his heart too. He's not all head, but like just very logical, very practical. The Queen of Cups, the Queen of Hearts, this chick is all about her feelings, all about her emotion, intuition. This isn't rational at all. This is just like coming from my heart, coming from my soul. So on the outside, this may look like a mismatch, but actually this might be like 2 puzzle pieces coming together here. But with the 8 of Swords here in between it, maybe what's holding you guys back from this, or maybe what's holding back from this thing coming together, there's like these self-imposed limitations. And that's what the 8 of Swords stands for. And with the swords being here, it's going to talk about the mental space. So this is definitely a mental game, you know, that we're playing with ourselves, saying like, oh, this wouldn't work, or, you know, on the outside, this looks like this wouldn't, you know, work at all, or this person is not a match for me. When in reality, like, you can't stop thinking about the other person, even though it doesn't fucking make sense. So I just want to say, if it's that interpretation for you this week around a relationship, who the fuck cares? This could be 2 puzzle pieces coming together where you guys make up for each other's, you know, lack, you know, where it's like a yin and yang coming together. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to say this week, get rid of those self-imposed limitations. Give yourself a chance to really sit down and make sure, like, am I just making this up in my head, like in terms of like this not working? Or could this really work if I give it a chance? How am I holding myself back from also too, like letting this person see me or know me or understand me or mentally connect with me? Maybe because I'm scared. Most people do that, guys. Most people do that, like hold themselves back or, you know, push people away, all the kinds of, especially if you got a trauma background, holy shit. Maybe you've got like an avoidant type of connection, you know, from childhood. Again, with trauma, just make sure this week that we're not pushing off, you know, partnerships and relationships and, you know, things here that seem to be on the outside that don't seem to make sense. But actually, when we get to the core of it, they actually do. they actually are like a good match for each other. Okay, now the other interpretation of this could be that maybe we find a good male, because king traditionally stands for an older male showing up here, usually like a father figure, like a wise counsel here. This guy's given like good advice, showing up in the scene to kind of help us get over our mental kind of shit that we're holding ourselves back with. So if you're the female here watching this, Queen of Cups, it's nice to have that balance here with like a good therapist or somebody that we're talking to. Maybe this is our actual father that will just like give it to us straight. That'll help us kind of like, get over some of that mental stuff that's been going on. Maybe too, if this is a father figure, maybe we're dealing with our father issues this week and we're noticing how that's been holding us back or keeping us closed off from maybe important relationships. Where we say like, oh, I can't work, or, oh, I won't work for X, Y, and Z, instead of like really just jumping in and giving things a chance with people around us, letting them get to know us or to mentally connect with others. And so what are the mental stories that we're telling ourselves, holding ourselves back? Now, if this is a man the other way, maybe you're going to therapy this week and talking with a good therapist, a good female therapist. Maybe you're logical and practical, and this therapist is all about emotions and feelings. She's helping you really get in tune with, again, the ways that you're holding yourself back. You don't have to do this anymore. You get to connect with people. You get to love them. You get to care about them. It's not saying disregard all your wisdom and everything that you've gained so far, but maybe here be open to learning new ways of connecting with people and also facing yourself in the ways that you're holding yourself back. So for male or female, whoever's, listening to it this week, give that weird relationship a try. It may actually work out incredibly well. And stop telling yourselves that you can or you shouldn't or you won't or whatever the fuck this week. Get good advice from somebody that can actually see it from a different perspective, maybe even to help you see that like you get to have good, close, healthy connections with other people. Whatever we got to heal here too, whether it's mother or father issues, don't be afraid to do that too. Because I got a good feeling here. A good feeling around the answer to this. That it's yes. That are a lot of the issues around why we're having a hard time connecting with people mentally, or why we push people, where put up this protective shell around us, has to do with mother or father issues, maybe even both. So don't be afraid to face yourself this week. Get good help to support you and maybe lean into this relationship that may not make sense, but actually might be everything that you've been asking for. Okay, and if you guys pick card pile number 3, here's your beautiful cards. Your first one is the Four of Wands. Second card is a major arcana card, talking about major change, major evolution, major movement forward. You got the Devil. And then finally, you got the Six of Wands. So I feel like this could stand for a couple things this week. First, I want to say this might really kind of talk about, like, the Four of Wands can talk about, like, it can stand for friendships. This can stand for, like, look, if this was like a love reading, I would say, like, this is getting married to somebody and then going, finding, like, a home together. Maybe even to this, man, the Four of Wands can talk about, like, festivities, gathering, like, celebrations. This is traditionally a really beautiful and good card. If you notice the people in the card, like, they're sitting across from each other. Maybe they're having a conversation, but they see each other as equals. Now, with the Devil here, this can talk about like negative attachments, obsession, maybe some negative patterns that, that we're reenacting here, maybe with our friendships, maybe with the people that we care about and that we love. I think this card combination, and especially with the Six of Wands, talks about like straight up victory. This is victory and success. This is like overcoming the worst. Like, this is amazing shit. Like, this is real world, like big, beautiful success. Maybe in order, like maybe we're having a rough time with our friendships right now. Maybe we're noticing like some of the negative patterns that we bring to the table. Maybe we're also noticing the negative patterns the other person brings to the table too. And in order for us to find success, maybe we need to sit down, have a conversation, and work through this shit so that we can cut through the crap, let go of this stuff, and realize that we don't have to do this anymore. Another interpretation of this could even really be like, maybe we're recognizing where we're getting like negative attachments in our life. This could be as simple as like trying to quit smoking cigarettes, maybe as hard as like trying to quit smoking crack. I'm not here to judge you, okay? Or maybe stop trying to eat Krispy Kremes. That's on level with crack with me. So with that, sitting down with our friends and really just kind of saying like, maybe I need more help than what I can give myself. Maybe I need help outside of myself. Maybe I need help from my friends or from the people that I love or from the people that I connect with and I see eye to eye with, people that I see that are equal to me and that actually fucking see me. So I do feel like either a conversation needs to happen this week around like the negative attachments that we're going through. Maybe we're ready to quit doing something that's not good for us, whether this be like, maybe it's like buying too much shit or smoking too much crack, eating too many Krispy Kremes. Whatever the fuck it is for you this week in terms of those negative attachments, sit down and ask for help. There's people here that are ready to support you and love you and help you find success. And if this is the other way around, if this really has more to do with like the negative things that we're doing to connect people to us, maybe this has to do with like mental games, like we're fucking with people mentally instead of like just telling them straight up how we feel about things. Maybe we're using, communication in ways that aren't good and that aren't healthy. Maybe this takes a conversation to sit down and be like, okay, what the fuck are we doing here? Maybe at the core of this, we're truly friends and we love each other and celebrate each other. But, maybe we're doing mean shit to each other. Maybe we're having issues with our friends this week or with the people that we love. How do we sit down and have that real conversation so that we can find success and break these negative patterns? Is it possible? Abso-fucking-lutely. Especially with the Six of Wands. Like, guys, I read this is just me personally, but I read this card almost like a major arcana card in terms of the success that we have. But this really has to do with like being real about these negative attachments and these more harmful things that we're doing, because it's got to stop. There's some way of like relating or what we're doing here or how we're handling things that is a negative, bad thing we've got to fucking face and break. Maybe even too, there's a fear here I find sometimes too when the devil comes up, that we're weighing our happiness and our freedom against safety and security. And so how do we stop doing that shit? How do we go towards our happiness? And how do we not be afraid to ask for help from the people that we love and care about, or have that difficult conversation around the relationship we have with somebody? Don't be afraid of it, because I think sitting down and talking about it obviously is going to give you the success that you're looking for. I just feel like a conversation is needed. And the reason I'm saying that is, again, with the Four of Wands here. So it looks like they're having a conversation, like a dinner table or something, or they're just sitting across from each other and really speaking truthfully and plainly about what the fuck is going on, because really at the core of it, we are friends, we love each other, we care about each other, and this is not the way that we want to interact with each other, right? Or again, at the very least, quit smoking that crack, y'all. This is your week to quit it. I think for me, it's quitting Krispy Kreme, so I'm just fucking sad like this, God. Or at least just scale it back, right? Do you have to do it all the time? Do I have to eat Krispy Kremes all the time? I mean, I want to, but is it healthy for me? No. So there's my negative attachment. All right, you guys, I hope to God that made sense. I hope to God that was helpful. Thank you guys so much for always letting me come on here and do what I love to do, what I feel like I was called to do, and present my crazy to the world. Thank you guys for enjoying it, for taking part in it, and also let me too which pile that you picked. Middle fingers for no, cacaw for yes. I fucking love you guys. And I'll probably see you, I think this Saturday, for the Messages of Hope. If you guys need me, you know where to find me in the meantime. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.